Well, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our beloved speaker for today, His Grace, SRIVAS, VANACARI. We are sorry for the technical glitch. But Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, you may begin. We're discussing 1344. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana namaskritya narachaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat nashtaprayasva bhadresu nityam bhagavatam sevaya bhagavate uttamasloke bhakti bhavati naistiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, entitled Appearance of Lord Varaha. And today we are treating text 44. So I'll just go through the sloka and the translation, purport, and then we proceed to have some discussion. The sloka says, Vidunvata vedemayam nijam vapur, janasta pasatya nivashino vayam, sata sikoduta sivambu bindubir, Vimrijya mana brisham isha pavitaha Viduvanta vedamayam nijam vapur Janasta pasatya nivashino vayam Sata sikoduta sevabo vidumir Vimrijya mana drisham isha pavitaha Vidunvata vemayam nijam vapur Janasta pasatya nivashino vayam Satasiko duta sivambu bindubir Vimrijya mana brisham isha pavitaha. Word from word translation. Vidunvataha, while shaking. Vedamayam, personified Vedas. Nijam, honor. Vapur, body. Janaha, the Janaloka planetary system. Tapaha, the Tapaloka planetary system. Satya, the Satyaloka planetary system. Nivashinaha, the inhabitants. Vayam, we. Sataha, hairs on the shoulder. Sika uduta, sustained by the tip of the hair. Shiva, auspicious. Ambu, water. Bindubir, by the particles. Vrimijya manaha, we are thus sprinkled by. Brisham, highly. Ishaha, O Supreme Lord. Pavitaha, purified. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Laisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Translation: O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planets, the Jana, Tapas, and Satya Lokas. But still, we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs, by the shaking of your body. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Ordinarily, the body of a hawk is considered impure. But one should not consider that the hawk incarnation assumed by the Lord is also impure. That form of the Lord is the personified Vedas and is transcendental. The inhabitants of Jana, Tapas, and Satyalokas are the most pious persons in the material world. But because those planets are situated in the material world, there are so many material impurities there also. Therefore, when the drops of water from the tips of the Lord's shoulder hair were sprinkled upon the bodies of the inhabitants of the higher planets, they felt purified. The Ganges water is pure because of its emanating from the toe of the Lord. And there is no difference between the water emanating from the toe and that from the tips of the hair on the shoulder of Lord Boa. They are both absolute and transcendental. Omagyana Timeridasya Gyanan Ganashala Kaya Shakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagragyatam Sahagana Ragnastambhitam Tam Sanjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Asri Tatmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Iti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvise Sashunyavadi Pasachade Satarini Vanchakol Patarvyascha Kripasindubhya Ivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratvize Namaha Nityanando Vatutendur Vasuda Pranavalabha Janavir Jivita Patir Krishna Prema Pradam Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachidananda Purvaja Bhavam Mata Jagat Rakta Rakta Gaura Kile Varaha Advaitam Harinadvaitaracharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Itam Sham Advaita Acharya Shraye Panchatattamakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabaya Nama Pankajanmaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajagraye Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Saratao Pangor Mama Madhirgatima Sarvaswa Padambu Joradha Mandana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadrumanda Srimat Radhadhara Simhastanastau Srila Govinda Devo Pristyale Visevya Manusmarami Srimam Rasana Sarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karsan Venuswanai Gopi Gopinath Sriestunaham Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Devi Krishna Mai Proktaradika Paradevata Sarvam Lakshmi Mai Sarvam Kanti Samohini Paraha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planets, Jana, Tapas, and Satya Lokas. But still we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs, by the shaking of your body. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayete grim yatkri patamahadvande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakram Vyaptaina Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So everyone is welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And before we proceed to say something relevant for our own purification and probably for the benefit of the audience, we first of all seek the blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis so that we can say something appropriate. Without the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we would not be here today. That is a fact, that whatever we have been able to achieve in Krishna consciousness, whatever progress we have been able to make in Krishna consciousness is simply the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Krishna. Sadhu Sangha Krishna Kripa Bhaktire Swabhava. That to make progress in Krishna consciousness, we first of all need the association of sadhus, the devotees, sadhu sangha. And by that sadhu sangha, Krishna is revealed to us. We are introduced to Krishna consciousness in the association of the sadhus, devotees. And Krishna, being very merciful, he he gives us his costless mercy to practice Krishna consciousness. And the very nature of bhakti is to give joy to the living entity. Bhakti is our natural constitutional activity. Therefore, when the living entity begins to associate with these devotees, then Krishna showers his blessings on such a living entity, and devotional service becomes manifest to that living entity. And one begins to relish this wonderful activity of Krishna consciousness. So we always need the mercy of the devotees, the mercy of the Vaishnavas to make any tangible progress in Krishna consciousness. So I humbly seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis so that we may say something relevant for our own purification. So in this verse, a number of points have been touched upon. It says, the Supreme Lord, undoubtedly, O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly, we are inhabitants of the most pious planets, Jana, Tapas, and Satya Lokas. But still, we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulder hairs, by the shaking of your body. So the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok are considered the most pious. So this implies that the universe is divided into sections. It implies that different grades of living beings reside on different planets based on the grade of piety. The most pious living entities, they live in the higher planetary systems like Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. Just like if you go to any city, there are first-class residential area, second-class residential area, and third-class residential area, and sometimes some very, very low-class slums where anybody can hang around. But you go to the first-class residential area, everything is in order, the place is neat, the place is beautiful, the people there, they live their own standard of life. So similarly, the universe is divided, and there are qualifications according to the amount of piety that one has, that he inherits a particular planet. So it is said, Devanam oka asit swar, bhutanapcha bhuva padam, that the heavens were established for the residence of the demigods, The Burva Lokas were established for ghostly personalities, and Burloka, or the earthly planetary systems, were established for human beings and other mortals. For the mystics and those of great piety, they live beyond all these planets. So we can understand that residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they are very exalted. They are not ordinary living beings like us. In fact, the residents of Tapalok, Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they are yogis, brahmacharis, sannyasis, spiritual aspirants who could not complete the path of perfection in order to go back home, back to Godhead. So they are promoted to these planets where there is continuous endeavor, continuous education, continuous learning, continuous association, so that they will eventually return to the spiritual world. In fact, it is mentioned somewhere that when the devastation began, the residents of Mahalok, which is below Janalok, they will migrate to Janalok. And the residents of Janalok, along with those coming from Mahalok, they would migrate to Tapalok. And all the residents of Tapalok, which includes those coming from Mahalok, Janalok, and Tapalok, they will all migrate to Satyalok. And then Lord Brahma, who is the head of Satyalok, will take everybody back home, back to Godhead. So that actually indicates how pious these living entities in Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok are. They are so pious because they are very advanced in piety, in knowledge, in spiritual activities. They are on the verge of perfection, but somehow or the other, they have not made the mark. So they are promoted to such planets so that they can continue with their spiritual endeavors and ending up in Brahma's planet. And Brahma will take all of them back home, back to Godhead. But here, these elevated souls, they are so happy that they drop some water that fell from the tips of the hair of Varahadev. They are so happy to be touched by that water. And they're saying that we feel purified by the touch of that water. So we can see how merciful Lord Varaha is. Lord Varaha, he came, he appeared from the nostrils of Brahma as a very small object, the size of the tip of the thumb. And then all of a sudden, he expanded into a gigantic figure. And Brahma and Marishi and the four Kumaras, they were debating, who is this personality? Why does it come from my nostrils? What is the purpose of coming here? But as they debated and speculated, the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, informed them that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. And how did he inform them? By his loud, transcendental roar. When Varahadev roared very loudly, then Brahma could understand, and many of the sages, they could understand that only the supreme personality of Godhead can perform such an extraordinary activity. So they began to chant Vedic hymns, Vedic mantras to welcome the Lord. They began to chant powerful mantras to welcome the Lord. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok heard a tumultuous voice on a boa, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious mantras from the Vedas to satisfy the Lord. And so in reciprocation, because these elevated people, exalted people, they began to glorify the Lord by chanting Vedic mantras to please the Lord. The Lord also reciprocated by shaking his body and dropping the water, droplets of water from the Garba Ocean onto the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. That was the causeless mercy of Lord Varahadev. In a conversation between Lord Chaitanya and his servant Balabhadra, Lord Chaitanya says, Kripara Samudra Dinahine Dhanamaya. Krishna Kripa Vina Kona Shuka Nahi Hoy. Krishna is the ocean of mercy. He is especially merciful to his devotees. Without his mercy, there is no possibility of happiness. So, the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, Satyalok, they glorify the Lord with Vedic mantras, and the Lord was happy with them. So the Lord is showing his mercy. The Lord is reciprocating with them by shaking his body and sprinkling the water from the Garba Ocean onto the residents of these highly evolved planets. And the water that comes from the body of the Lord is purifying. Actually, there is nothing purer than the Lord himself. No one can be considered purer than the Lord. In this verse, the Lord is described as Vedamayam. That means the Vedas personified, which means the embodiment of transcendence. The Lord is the embodiment of transcendence. Arjuna recognized the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 10, 12, and 13. Param Brahma, Param Dharma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. You are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest and the absolute truth. So Krishna and his numerous incarnations, they are the purest of the pure. No one is equal to the Lord, and no one is greater than the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Naya Kanam Shirot Radnam. Naya Kanam Shirot Radnam. Krishna Stus Bhagavan Swayam. Yatra Nitayata Sarve. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Virajante Mahamuni. Virajante Mahamuni. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead is endowed with all the transcendental qualities. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna Stus Bhagavan Swayam. And in the Lord, situated in the Lord, are all the transcendental qualities in the Lord. And one of those transcendental qualities of the Lord is purity. The Lord is so pure that his transcendental position is recognized by great devotees. In the Gaga Samhita, it is mentioned, Krishnaya Purna Purushaya Paratparaya, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, he is complete. Purna Purushaya, he is the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead beyond everyone else. Parat Paraya, he is supreme and he is beyond everyone else. No one is equal to him and no one is greater than him. So therefore, Krishna, who is the lover of Srimati Radharani, is the purest of all. And anything that touches the Lord also assumes that purity. Advaya Gyan. Advaya Gyan means that anything that the Lord uses, anything that touches the Lord, anything that relates to the Lord, also assumes a transcendental quality. So the water that were at the tip of the hairs of Varahadev, because they had touched the body of the Lord, they had become spiritually surcharged. So much so that when the Lord shook his body and the water dropped on the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they felt purified. They were overjoyed. They were happy that they were touched by that pure droplets of water. Krishna is described in the Ishopanishads as Apapavidam. In the Ishopanishads, Mantra 8, it is mentioned, Anishwaram Shudam Apapavidam, that the Lord is pure and uncontaminated, who is the self-sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. So the Lord is this Apapavidam nature of the Lord is manifested in all the pastimes of the Lord. When the Lord comes into the material world, everything that he does is transformed into spiritual essence. So the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they are feeling very grateful. They are feeling very happy that the Lord shook his body and the droplets of water that touched them, even though they are considered the most elevated, the most pious, but when they were touched by those droplets of water, they felt purified. So the goal of life is purification. Every wise person, intelligent person embarks on the path of purification because it is understood that material existence means contamination and spiritual existence means purification. So long as we are contaminated in the material world, we cannot experience our eternal nature of Satchit Ananda. But as soon as we become purified of all material inebrities, material contaminations, then we can begin to experience that spiritual bliss. So therefore, the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they felt very grateful. They felt very happy that they were purified by the droplets of water that touched their body. So Prabhupada also mentions about that there is no difference between the droplets of water from the body of Varahadev and the water of the Ganges, because the water of the Ganges washed the toe of Lord Vamanadev. And so it says, the Ganges water emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord has such a powerful sanctifying effect, because the Ganges water actually is from the causal ocean. And this causal ocean is water that emanated from Mahavishnu's body. So the Ganga water, has a double effect. It is coming from Mahavishnu's body, and then that water now washes the lotus feet of Vamanadev. So it's doubly effective, doubly pure, doubly transcendental, and therefore it is purifying when one touches it. It is mentioned in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that when King Bajrat wanted to bring Ganga down to the earthly planet to liberate his grandparents, he performed a lot of austerity to satisfy Ganga Devi. And when Ganga Devi was satisfied, Ganga said that I'm prepared to come, but there are two issues that have to be dealt with. One issue is there must be a powerful personality who can bear the power of the fall of this water onto the earthly planet. And secondly, when this water comes to the earthly planet, so many sinful people would want to bathe in that water, and they will deposit all their sins there. So how do we deal with these two issues? So King Bajrat, he said that Lord Shiva, who is none different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is in a position to bear the weight of the water falling onto the earthly planet. And for the issue of sinful people bathing in your waters, there are great devotees of the Lord who are walking the face of the earth. when the sinful people bathe in these waters, and the great devotees of the Lord, they also come to bathe in the waters. While the sinful people deposit their sins in the Ganga waters, the great devotees, servants of the Lord, when they come to bath in these same waters, because of the purity of their devotional service, because of the transcendental position of their devotional service, they can purify all those waters. So therefore, with those promises, Banjarata, he went to perform more austerities in order to please Lord Shiva. And when Lord Shiva was pleased, he accepted to bear the weight of Ganga when he descends to the earthly planet. But it is said that actually Lord Shiva was thinking that this Ganga Jal is very pure. It is coming from Mahavishnu's body, and it is washing the lotus feet of Vamanadev. So it has such a double purifying effect that just by touching this water, I may be bearing the weight of the falling water, but actually I will be more purified by touching this water. So Lord Shiva, he accepted to bear the weight of the water of the falling Ganga, not just because he had the strength to bear it, but he was thinking that if this water, this pure water, coming from the body of Mahavishnu, and washing the lotus feet of Vamanadev, falls on my body, then I'll be more purified. So Lord Shiva agreed to the proposal of King Bhajirat. And so Ganga descended into this well by the mercy of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva bore the weight, bore the pressure of Ganga, and as a result, we have Ganga Devi in this well. Ganga first dropped in the Himalayas, in Kailash. That is where Lord Shiva is. And Lord Shiva is always bathing in the waters of Ganga. Why? Because it's so pure. Srila Prabhupada writes that Ganga water, just a sip of Ganga water, is enough to deliver one from this material colleges of life. In fact, when somebody is about to die, they place a tulsi leaf on his tongue, and they also give him a sip of Ganga water. So Prabhupada mentions that this water that is coming from the toe of Vamanadev and the water that was sprinkled by Varahadev, they are of the same spiritual efficacy, spiritual quality. When one comes in touch with them, he becomes freed from all inebrities, from all contaminations. There is also a mention of Bindu Sarovar. Bindu Sarovar is where Kandarma Muni engaged in his austerity. Kandarma Muni engaged in very severe austerities that Lord Vishnu became attracted to Kandarma Muni's austerities. And when Lord Vishnu descended to see Kandarma Muni, he was so affectionate, he was so impressed, he was so happy with Kandarma Muni's austerities that Lord Vishnu began to shed tears. And those tears form what is called the Bindu Sarovar. So that Bindu Sarovar is a lake full of the tears of Lord Vishnu. And it is said that if you touch the water of that lake, you immediately become purified. Any form of disease, any form of problem, if one just sips a little bit of that Bindu Sarovar water or takes a bath in that Bindu Sarovar water, he becomes purified. So it is said, great sages and learned scholars, they all worship Bindu Sarovar because it is so potent that anybody who comes in touch with this Bindu Sarovar becomes purified. Actually, it is called Shivamrita Jala. Shivamrita Jala means a very auspicious, powerful, curing water that can cure all diseases, both spiritual and material. So similarly, anyone who takes bath in the Ganges water, which has touched the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev, will also become purified, just as the residents of Janaka, Tapa, Satya were feeling purified by the drops of water that were sprinkled by Lord Varahadev. It is also mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Lord Chaitanya used to hold the Ratha Yatra parade every year in Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya will dance so heavily that it would appear that the planet Earth is tilting, the planet Earth is moving because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing. Even it said Lord Jagannath himself will become excited to see Lord Chaitanya dancing. Baladev, Subhadra, they were always smiling at Lord Chaitanya's dancing. And then when Lord Chaitanya dances, then he will fall to the ground in ecstasy. And before he even falls to the ground, he'll be crying. And tears will come out of his eyes like water from a syringe. See, when you press water from a syringe, it goes in a straight line. It sprays over people. So it is said that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in that great ecstasy, he's dancing in the great ecstasy, the tears from his eyes, they come out like syringes and they spray on everybody who is around him. And those tears when they touch anyone, he also experiencing the same ecstasy. He becomes so purified. He falls into love of Godhead. It is even mentioned that sometimes he will fall down and be unconscious. Then foam will be coming from his mouth out of ecstasy. So much foam will be coming from the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And some devotees, they would fetch that foam and they would drink it. Particular name mentioned in this regard is Subhananda. Se fena lana Subhananda kaila pana Krishna prema rasika teno maha bhajavan. The foam that fell from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken by Shubhananda and drank it. And when he drank it, he swooned He fell into ecstasy. He felt great purification within himself. He felt great joy within himself. And so many devotees want to get purified. They want to experience love of Godhead. So all the liquids that are coming from the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy, devotees are rushing for it. Similarly, it is mentioned that there was one great devotee, his name is Kalidas. Kalidas is said to be the uncle of Raghunath Das Goswami. Kalidas was a very special Vaishnav. He was a very exalted Vaishnav. His daily business was to visit the homes of Vaishnavas and offer them prayers. And sometimes he would carry very special fruits, mangoes, guava, oranges, different fruits. He will go to the marketplace and he will select the best. Then he will visit the Vaishnavas and he would glorify them. Then he would offer them the fruits. So that was his daily activity. And then he would go out and hide. And after the Vaishnavas have relished the fruits and they go and throw away the peels and the seeds, Kalidas will come out of his hiding place and he would lick the seeds and peels that Vaishnavas have eaten and left. It is said that when Kalidas comes to your house and you see him off, you accompany him off, Kalidas will go and hide. And as soon as you go back into your house, Kalidas will come out. And your steps, the footprints that the devotee has left, Kalidas will fetch the soil or the sand from those footprints and he will pour it on his head. He will bathe the dust from the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. So that was his lifestyle. He would do that every day without fail. So once Kalidas came to Puri, because every year devotees from Bengal, they are coming to participate in the Ratha Yatra in Puri. So one of the years, Kalidas joined the team to come to Puri to participate in the Ratha Yatra festival. But Lord Chaitanya had warned his servant Govinda that he should never allow any devotee to take the water that he washes his feet. Under the 22 steps at the Jagannath temple, there is a place Lord Chaitanya used to wash his feet before he would climb the 22 steps into the Jagannath temple. And he warned Govinda that no devotee should be allowed to touch that water that washes his lotus feet. So it was a strict order, and Govinda observed it strictly. Kashishwara bodyguard observed it strictly. But when Kalidas came to Puri for the Ratha Yatra parade and was among the devotees who had gone with Lord Chaitanya to visit Lord Jagannath, as soon as Lord Chaitanya began to wash his feet, Kalidas put his two hands underneath Lord Chaitanya's foot, and he caught the water that was gliding down from the foot of Lord Chaitanya. He drank it. Then again he went and took a second palmful, he drank it. Then he wanted to go for the third time, and Lord Chaitanya said, enough. So everyone was excited that even though Lord Chaitanya has banned people, he has warned his servant, nobody should be allowed to drink, but he allowed Kalidas to drink 2 palmfuls of the water that has washed his lotus feet. So devotees could understand that Lord Chaitanya was giving very special mercy to Kalidas. And why? Because Kalidas had always been a servant of the devotees. His whole life was for making devotees happy. So the process of Krishna consciousness is a process of service. The more we try to serve devotees, the more we try to make devotees happy by their service, the more Krishna is pleased, and the more Krishna will reciprocate with us. So therefore, because Kalidas was performing all these wonderful services, Lord Chaitanya benedicted him with the water that washed his lotus feet. It is also mentioned that when Lord Chaitanya went down south, uh, uh, the one Brahmana called Kurma, the Kurma Brahmana, he invited Lord Chaitanya to his home, and then he washed the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, and then he shared the water amongst his family members, and they drank that water, and they were in ecstasy, drinking the water that washed Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. Similarly, when Lord Chaitanya was on his way to Vrindavan, he stopped over in Benares. And there was one devotee, Tapa Misra, who was there in Benares. He also invited Lord Chaitanya to his home. And he also performed a similar ritual. Of course, that is the way of receiving saintly people. Tapana Misra, he washed Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. And then he and all his family members, they drank that water that washed Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. And they were experiencing so much ecstasy by drinking the water that washed the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the water that was sprinkled by Varahadev onto the residents or inhabitants of Janaklok, Tapalok, and Satyalok is very purifying, and they were so happy to receive that mercy of the Lord. But that mercy is still there, even today. When we bathe the deities, the water that glides down from the lotus feet of the Lord comes out as Charanamrita. And then when we go to the temple, we accept a drop of that Charanamrita. So this is the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is so merciful that when he appears in this material world, he comes for the benefit of the saintly devotees. Paritranaya sadunam vinasaya chaduskritam. Krishna comes into the material world to show mercy to the devotees. So Varahadev, he shows such great mercy to the residents of Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. So that mercy is still flowing. When we worship the deities, it's still flowing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made that arrangement for us. And so we are also very fortunate to also receive that mercy coming down from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by coming in touch with such wonderful spiritual artifacts, we can become purified, and we can achieve the goal of life, which is to go back home, back to Godhead. That is what this Krishna consciousness is offering the world. And so it is said that there are three things that are very powerful. Tina Bala. The three things that are very powerful. Bala means very powerful, very strong. The water that washes the lotus feet of the Lord, the remnants of food, and the dust that the Lord has stepped on. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord, the water that has washed their feet, the dust they have stepped on, the remnants of food they've eaten, these three spiritual artifacts are so powerful that if you come in touch with them, the perfection of life can easily be achieved. And so we can say in our Krishna consciousness, these three things are available. When you go to Vrindavan, the whole Vrindavan is full of dust, and the devotees, essentially people are walking on those dust. So if you just fake that dust and put it on your head, the water that washes the lotus feet of the Lord comes out as charanamrita every day we are taking. And sometimes when the devotees come, we also wash their feet. That water is also purifying. And then the remnants of prashadam left over from the plates of the devotees is also very purifying. So one should be very eager, like Kalidas, who was always eager to accept the remnants of prashadam from devotees. And because of that eagerness, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him a special mercy by allowing him to drink 2 handfuls or 2 palmfuls of the water that wash his lotus feet. So coming in touch with the 3 items, whether it is the water that washes the lotus feet of the Lord, whether it is the dust that comes on the lotus feet of the Lord, or the remnants of prashadam that is eaten by the Lord, or from the devotees. These are very powerful artifacts, and by coming in touch with them, our spiritual life will know perfection. Thank you very much. If there are any comments or questions, it's already past 4. You're welcome. Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, as always. Apologies, we had some technical glitch. I should have turned off my system to restart, but that was going to cause lots of problems. So we apologize. But I would like to say that I don't know exactly how to do it, because we all have to be very careful with offenses. But the class you gave today, I wish that one particular devotee would listen to this class, because there was a time this devotee, I don't want to describe this particular devotee, was very vehemently angry that devotees in Ghana washed the lotus feet of His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj and sipped the Chanamrita. Says, all my life in devotional life in ISKCON, it's never done that way. You only sprinkle. But I wish that this devotee listened to this class today. See, this is why sometimes we ask questions. And when we ask questions, some people take offense, thinking that they are being challenged. But if this person is telling me that it is nonsense to drink the 5 items used to wash the lotus feet of a saintly person, and now I'm hearing with all these various references from the scriptures and from the life of Lord Chaitanya himself, and if I should ask a question and this person says, Sahadev, you challenging my authority, what else can I do? But like I'm saying, I'm praying to Guru and Krishna that this person listens to this class. Thank you so much. Any devotee with something to ask or to share, please, you may do so. Anadi Nidanam Prabhu, please give me your mute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I beg to offer my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your wonderful class. So, Maharaj, this resident of Janaluk, they themselves testify that they were purified as a result of the drop of water. So, why is it that for so long, this Charamista, we've been taking it, but we are not feeling anything? Is it as a result of our conditioning, or what is the cause? I would like you to, specifically me, myself, I won't talk for any other devotees, but personally, I don't feel anything when I take Charometer or any water or any paraphernalia that touches the body of the Lord. Is it because of I'm so much conditioned? That is the reason why. So I would like you to diagnose my case and Hare Krishna.
I don't have the qualification to diagnose your case, but I can say something. See, there is a story. I think the other day, the last 2 days ago, the class, Ganga Prasad.
Ganga Prasad, yes.
Yes. He gave a story of Ramanuja Acharya. Ramanuja Acharya was traveling with his disciples, and then they got to some lake, and they sat by the lake for Ramanuja Acharya to take prasadam. And then as he was eating, he just took a little bit of the food he has bitten, and he threw it into the lake. And a fish that ate that prasad immediately assumed a Vaikuntha form and started going upwards into the spiritual sky. So the disciples, they were bewildered. They said, Guru Maharaj, we have been eating the remnants of this prasadam for years. But why is it that we are still roaming on the earth planet? Why is it that we have not assumed the Vaikuntha forms and gone back home? Why are we still struggling here? And Ramanuja Acharya said, well, you see, the whole thing is based on faith. This low-class animal, he has no doubt. You see, based on faith, we have doubts. If we don't have strong faith, we have strong doubt. And these doubts, they are actually enemies. Arjuna addressed Lord Krishna as, in the Bhagavad Gita, as Madhusudana, right?
Yes.
That he should kill the demons of doubt from his mind. So these doubts, they are our stumbling blocks. And we can deal with these doubts when we increase our faith. And to increase your faith, you have to associate with those who have very strong faith. Faith is gained by association. If we associate with those devotees who have very staunch faith in the holy name, in Krishna, in the process, we will also gradually acquire that staunch faith. And if we associate with those who do not have faith or very weak faith, then also we drift towards that kind of situation. So everything in Krishna consciousness is actually based on faith. In fact, Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, they said they have brought the holy name to the marketplace, Namahata. The marketplace of the holy name is called Namhata. But they said the currency for buying the holy name is not just ordinary currency. The currency is Shraddha, faith. So if you have very strong faith, then you will be a good customer to the holy name. But if you don't have enough faith, you cannot be a good customer. In fact, when Lord Chaitanya was in Benares, he said he had brought his goods to Benares, but there was nobody there to buy. So he had lowered the price. And even if they just gave anything, he was ready to offer it. But his argument was, people do not have the faith in the Lord. They do not have the faith in the holy name. They do not have the faith in the process. And as a result, they don't realize anything. So I would say that whatever we're experiencing in Krishna consciousness is directly proportional to our faith. The more faith we have in the holy name, the more the holy name becomes active. The more faith we have in Krishna, the more we feel Krishna's presence. The more faith we have in the scriptures, the more we realize how powerful the scriptures are. And conversely, the same, if we have less faith in the holy name, we have less faith in the scriptures, we have less faith in the Supreme Lord, we would also not feel so much excitement in the practice of Krishna consciousness. So I will say that everyone should try to increase his faith by association. And that is why it is pertinent that we should hear lectures from very advanced devotees. Hearing lectures from very advanced devotees will help us acquire that faith. We should hear from Srila Prabhupada. We should hear from our spiritual masters. We should hear constantly. That hearing enhances our faith. I always tell devotees, there is not a single day I don't listen to Prabhupada's lectures. There is not a single day, unless something happens. But every blessed day, I listen to Srila Prabhupada's lecture. When I'm taking my bath, I'm hearing Prabhupada's lecture. When I'm putting on tilak, I'm hearing Prabhupada's lecture. When I'm eating, I'm hearing Prabhupada's lecture. So, and by listening to such exalted people, I can see that Prabhupada is enhancing my faith. Prabhupada is increasing my faith. So I recommend that we should listen to advanced devotees, and that is the way we can increase our faith. And the more our faith becomes increased, the more we will see that this process of Krishna consciousness is very powerful. That is my suggestion. Other devotees may have a better approach, but this is from my angle. This is my own experience. This is what I practice. And I will suggest that to you. Listen to Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Listen to great devotees' lectures, and they will instill the faith you need. And it's that faith that will help you to realize how these spiritual items are very powerful. I hope this answers your question. And I didn't need an Prabhu.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You really diagnosed my case. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you so much. I think we have Shima Vara Prabhu's hand up. Shima Vara Prabhu, please you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hi, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Jai,
All
Vanahaji,
glory
my obeisance. Jai, Jai, Jai.
Good to hear from you again. It's been a long time.
Hare Krishna.
Just if you allow me, a quick contribution to.
Well, you're welcome. Most welcome. Most welcome.
And of course, your answer is very wonderful, perfect. Faith comes by hearing. Faith comes by hearing. But at the same time, I would like to ask Anandini Dana Prabhu some two questions.
Okay.
One, does he recite the prayer for drinking Chanamrita? I would like him to answer. Does he recite the prayer for drinking Chanamrita?
Please, no.
Do you recite the prayer for drinking Chanamrita?
Please, no.
No.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So that That's one question. The second question, we just finished the Govardhan Pools. Did you read the story of the Govardhan, the court? I mean, how do you say in English? Okay, the passage concerning Pools, their pastime. Did you read it? Did you read it? Because we just celebrated it a day or two ago. So did you read that?
Please no, I didn't.
Okay. So this is the problem. The problem is lack of application. If we don't apply things in the correct way, then we will not get the result, or we will get the result somehow. Well, if you have read the Govardhan Pools pastime, when Krishna was trying to convince his father not to worship Indra, Krishna told him that there are two types of people, of worshippers, or people who do rituals. And he said, first category, they're doing it with knowledge.
Mm.
And for them, there is wonderful, perfect result. He said, perfect result. He says some people are doing it because others are doing it, but they do not have knowledge. They are doing it just because they see others doing it, but they do not have knowledge of what they are doing. And for them, somehow they may get some result. They may. This is there in Krishna book. Go read it. So if you're doing Chanamrita and you do not have knowledge of what you're doing, because when you recite the prayer, then you will have the understanding of what you're doing.
Mm.
The mantra is there, Akalamitu Aranam. I think if you know that mantra, Akalamitu Aranam, Sarva Vyadi Vinashanam, Sarva Vyadi Vinashanam, Vishnu Padodakam Pitva, Siddhasta Dharami Aham. By drinking water that has come from the lotus feet of Vishnu, which destroys all diseases and takes away the chance of dying prematurely, I hold that water to my head. You see, this is the mantra for drinking Chanamrita. And when you are reciting that, it inspires faith. It says it destroys all diseases and it takes away the chance of dying prematurely. And I hold that water to my head. You don't go wiping your hand on handkerchief after drinking water, Chanamrita. You have to wipe it on your head. So this is application. You have to say the prayer and you have to apply what the prayer is saying. And then this inspires faith, and it's going to be as you say. So that's one thing. First thing is you are not reciting the prayer, maybe because you don't even know the prayer. Okay? Now, Krishna explains in that lila that people follow rituals just because they see others doing it, but they don't do it. They don't have knowledge of what they're doing. So you see, that may be our situation. Most people, they do things just because they hear or they see people doing, but they do not really find out how to do this, how to apply. So anyway, this is my little contribution. Now, go find out that mantra, start chanting it every day, and you will find out that, whatever problem, diseases you are having, and a fear of premature death will all disappear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you. Actually, it's knowledge. When we do things with knowledge, the results are better than when we do things out of ignorance. So that's a very powerful point. We should do things out of knowledge. Thank you.
Well, Hare Krishna. Anandinanam Prabhu, thank you for your question. This question has, and of course, His Grace Srivas VANACARI's response, very beautiful. And Sri Varaha Prabhu's contribution. I think everybody should try to recite this Charamrita mantra. I didn't know the mantra, but I am knowing about it now. I have it on the screen here. I will share it in the WhatsApp platform.
Okay.
And even here, back to what I was saying, there is also a particular mantra for taking the spiritual master's Chanamrita.
That's right.
So the translation is having drunk the water from the lotus feet of the spiritual master. And so I'm still wondering why this particular devotee was so upset with us in Ghana for drinking Gurudev's Chanamrita. All right. I think Govinda Prabhu had his hand up. Govinda Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, Sadhu Prabhu, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my respectful obeisances to you.
Govinda Prabhu,
Obeisances.
you appear to be in space because you are tilted in your video. Okay, good. Now we know you are on earth. All right, go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
I owe you one question. So if you want to start from there.
Yes, sure. Yeah, my question was about Sri Narada Muni. When Krishna was feeling headache, and the only solution to Krishna's problem was that of getting the dust of the feet of his devotees.
Yeah.
And so Narada has to carry the message around. And finally, the gopis were eager to offer the dust of their feet. So I was wondering, the Muni, is such a great devotee. So when he heard that, he got that information from the Lord, why didn't he himself give his dust, a dust from his feet?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Narada Muni is a very exalted personality, but he himself felt unqualified to give the dust of his feet to Krishna. He felt unqualified. He felt, who am I to give the dust of my feet to Krishna? That's a natural mood of such exalted souls. They always feel unqualified. They feel humble. So he had that feeling. And not only Narada, when Narada went to other devotees as well, nobody was prepared to give the dust of their feet. Krishna, to receive dust from my feet, is unheard of. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, superior to everyone else. We are all looking up to him. We are all worshiping him. How can I dare give the dust of my feet to Krishna? It is said that water does not flow up the hill. Water flows down the hill. So therefore, mercy should flow from up to down. Krishna should give us his mercy. Why should I, a devotee, want to give the dust of my feet to Krishna? So that's a natural feeling of the devotees. But Krishna wanted to demonstrate the very exalted position of the gopis. So Narada Muni approached many devotees, even himself. They were not ready to offer the dust of their feet to Krishna because they felt it would be an offense. It would be an offense for us as devotees of the Lord to offer something we have used or something from us to him. It's an offense. But the gopis, when they heard that Krishna is having headache and the solution, the medicine, was the dust from their lotus feet, they said, well, we are ready to give. And Narada even asked them, Don't you know you're going to go to hell by giving the dust of your feet to Krishna? It is forbidden. It's not allowed. If you do that, you go to hell. And then Gopi said, we don't care. So long as Krishna feels happy, so long as Krishna is relieved from his headache by the dust from our feet, let us go to hell. Let us suffer the consequences. Our mission is to make Krishna happy. So Krishna performed this pastime. Actually, Krishna didn't have any headache. He just wanted to project the gopis' love. He wanted the gopis' level of devotional service to be experienced by Narada Muni. Just like when he sent Uddhav to Vrindavan, Uddhav was thinking he's the best devotee in Dwaraka. Krishna will not take any decision without consulting with Uddhav. So he was feeling he was the best devotee. So Krishna sent Uddhav to Vrindavan to witness the love the devotees, the gopis had for him. And then when he got there, it is said that when Uddhav got to Vrindavan, he saw 2 rivers flowing. He had heard of Yamuna, only 1 river. But when Uddhav got to Vrindavan, he witnessed 2 rivers flowing. He was wondering where from the second river. And he began to ask people. And they finally told him, the second river, the first river is Yamuna, and the second river is the tears of the gopis. Because Krishna is absent. Since Krishna left Vrindavan, the gopis have been crying. And the tears have now formed a second river in Vrindavan. Then Uddhava could understand that his love for Krishna does not match at all with the love the gopis had for Krishna. So Krishna was just playing this pastime to demonstrate the exceptional love the gopis had for him.
Okay. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I think, what's the name? Hamsadita Prabhu, are you still there? Did you have something to ask or share?
Krishna, your grace, yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes, Maharaj.
Can I ask my second question before Prabhu coming?
Is it a continuation?
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, it's
Okay.
a continuation.
All right, you may go ahead, and then we'll go to Hamsadita.
Yes. It's a continuation from the answers given concerning faith. Yeah, Maharaj has given a very detailed explanation, but I still have a little bit of not complete, incomplete, because when medicine is given, when one swallowed medicine, whether the person believes it or not, whether the person has faith in that medicine or not, the medicine will work.
Yeah.
Will have effect on a person.
Yes.
If a person touch fire,
it will burn.
Whether he believes it or not, is going to get banned.
That's true.
And so when we take prasadam, and the prasadam has such a powerful effect, and we say we have to have faith, we have to chant some mantras before the prasadam will have that effect, then that is my dilemma right there.
Yeah.
So I need more explanation to that.
Thank you.
when you talk of faith, is it different spiritual faith? We have to have faith to have spiritual effect, but when it comes to the side of the material matter, we don't need faith. Is there any difference?
See, when we join this Hare Krishna movement, anything we do, we immediately see result. When we started to chant the mantra, the Maha Mantra, we could feel the power of the mantra. When we took Prasadam, we could feel the power of Prasadam. Any spiritual activity we did in the beginning, there was some immediate result. That is a special mercy Krishna gives to the living entity when you join Krishna consciousness. It's like you are new to the process and Krishna wants you to have some experience. Krishna wants you to realize how powerful the process is. Even without faith, we experience the power of the holy name, the power of Prasadam, the power of association from the beginning of devotional service. That's a special mercy Krishna gives to everyone when you come in touch with this process of Krishna consciousness. So that initial step, initial progress is given by Krishna to help you come up. But as you progress, you must now begin to develop the necessary faith in order to actually make tangible progress. So everyone who comes to Krishna consciousness, the beginning of it is very wonderful. You enjoy the Prasadam, you enjoy the Kirtan, you enjoy the Japa, you enjoy everything in Krishna consciousness from the beginning. But as time progresses, then you realize that you are losing interest in the chanting, in the Kirtan, and sometimes even in Prasadam. How is that happening? It's because Krishna gave you that initial faith, that initial experience, so that you can taste, you can realize how powerful devotional service is. But as you progress, you must now cultivate the required the required faith. You must now have the required currency in order to purchase the process of Krishna consciousness. All the acharyas are saying so. So once the acharyas are saying the faith, and Lord Nityananda himself, Lord Chaitanya himself, also said the same thing. The faith is very important in the practice of chanting the holy name, very important in the process of hearing, very important in the process of association. We cannot deny that. But when we begin, the Lord makes it easy for us that even without the faith, we still experience some level of Krishna consciousness. And that is a very special, it's a special arrangement by Krishna. But if we want to make progress in Krishna consciousness, we must develop the necessary faith. Because material medicine has its ingredients. They are either pain relievers or antibiotics or whatever, analgesics or whatever. And they are targeted to a certain part of the body, certain disease, certain contamination, certain illness. So they'll attack it. So whether you have faith or you don't have faith, it will work. But in the process of Krishna consciousness, the spiritual process, the practitioner, the consciousness of the practitioner, the faith of the practitioner, all play a role in making progress or substantial progress in Krishna consciousness. But Krishna gives us the foundation. He gives us the initial push that even though we have no faith from the beginning, but we also have some taste in Krishna consciousness. But that is to help you develop the taste. And so as the years go by, we are supposed to cultivate that faith more and more and more. And the more we cultivate that faith, the more we can make progress in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Before somebody asks question, I'd like to say something about it. So
Okay.
Kindly allow me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Govinda Prabhu, I hope you know what is called placebo. This is a medical term. It's called placebo. I don't know if you understand that, if you know what is called placebo. Placebo is administering fake drug, artificial drug, just powder to a sick person, or just giving water as injection, and then the patient will feel okay. That's because they've given him injection, but it's water inside, only water, only sterilized water, nothing. This is called placebo. Now, your question is, people take medicine and they feel without faith, and it works. Placebo is that placebo counteract that argument. The administration of fake or just ordinary water as injection, and then the patient immediately feels like it's okay, he gets some relief. So, what faith is that? Will you call that blind faith or what? The faith is in the doctor who is applying this. He doesn't know the content of what is applied to him. So though you may say there's no mantra, but then anybody else gives water or any artificial drug to a patient, the patient may not feel okay. But when a doctor applies it, because it's in a clinic or he's gone to a doctor in a hospital, all this effect is like the mantra. Because it adds to what is being given. And now, let's talk about mantra. This is spiritual. Many spiritual treatments are accompanied by mantra. Look, even in our African tradition, there are certain medications you have to use with certain mantra. You have to recite certain mantra. So this is not just a Vedic thing or a traditional thing. Using things, I saw my father when I was young healing me with just mantra. I got burnt, and he just recited some mantra so that the burnt will not develop into blister, and it got dry. I've witnessed many of such things, just mantra. And sometimes they may apply something, but then mantra is accomplished. So we should not think that it is an imposition trying to say that unless you use the mantra, can't it work? Now, what is the composition of Chanamrita, for instance? It is milk, milk, honey, and ghee. Ordinarily, you don't attach any importance to this thing except like for food. But once it has become combined together as water that bathes the Lord, the feet of the Lord, if you know the mantra that accompanies it, it acts differently. It's no longer milk and tea and honey you're taking, because you know the mantra. So that is how things work spiritually. In my tradition, they used to say that if you know how to call God, those who don't know how to call God, they say they call him, he doesn't answer. But if you know how to call him, he always answers, never fails. So this is faith. It's based on knowledge. It's not just some whimsical idea. And it is part of our own African traditions. So if I'm speaking strongly about it, it's because I think we should know better. Because we use mantra a lot as Africans to accompany many things. So anyway, I hope those 2 points will go a long way to help to, correct the idea that we just because we have to chant mantra, so maybe it doesn't have potency. The mantra is revealing. The mantra is revealing to our dull mind and our ignorance. It's revealing to us what this is capable of doing. And that is where the faith comes from, because we're hearing it now. And sometimes the mantra is invoking the name. Of course, most of the mantra is telling you the hidden power behind what you're doing, especially when it is meant for healing. The mantra is to reveal to you what that is capable of doing. So anyway, this is just my little contribution. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Your voice was a little distant, but we still could hear you anyway. I also wanted to say something in Prabhu Govinda's question, and it was going to be like giving a whole class in itself, which is improper. And Hamsadutta Prabhu also had his hand up. But Hamsadutta Prabhu, you may go ahead, and if there is time, I would like to say a little bit to
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Is so great.
Happy to see
Jaga
you.
Guru Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to the wonderful Assam devotees. Yes, I was in another class and I was rushing that it ended and I come here.
I see.
But just hearing your voice and seeing your lotus face gives me a lot of inspiration. And thank you so much for being here yesterday and today. First of all, I want to thank His Grace, Anadidina Prabhu. Thank you so much, because most of the times, the questions you ask really, really, really helped me. Especially this Charamrita. I went to the temple, and most of the time I take it. All I know about it is that you don't have to touch the ground, and you have to take your 2 hands to take it and slip it and wash it to your head. But when His Grace Shmavarad was explaining what the meaning, it just I feel the desire to learn this mantra and understand it, because I'm just a neophyte, and I didn't know the potency of this Charamrita we are taking. And as His Grace Shmavara Prabhu said, the mantras, especially in Islam, there is some few mantras which we have to chant it number of times, and you understand it, and it have a very, 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 very big effect. So what I wanted to ask is that, for me, especially when I have the words in the Sanskrit, the way I pronounce it is wrong. So if I have to memorize this mantra, how do I do that? If somebody can help me to record with the words and send it to me so that I can memorize it with the words, because most of the times, if I look at the mantras, the writing in Sanskrit, if I pronounce it later, I hear the main words, I know I'm pronouncing it wrongly. So this is my humble request. If someone any senior devotee will do that for me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna.
So I actually didn't have any big question. I just wanted to appreciate Anadina Prabhu for always asking wonderful question, which really helped me. Because the way you ask the question, sometimes I have it very difficult to construct the question. So Prabhu, thank you so much for always being here. you are really helping your younger brother. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, the question about faith. There was one devotee, very beautiful devotee, who gave class one day in Gitanagari. And I asked a question, very similar to Govinda Prabhu's question. And he said, you don't need faith for performing devotional service for it to take effect. And he wasn't wrong. He's right to some extent. That is the beauty of devotional service. Almost everything everybody says has some truth to it. But there is a top-notch truth, which is superior truth. That is why, like His Grace Srivas VANACARI was saying, he made references to many, many great acharyas and the Supreme Lord himself, stating that we all need faith. Shraddha, that is the beginning. Without faith, we cannot really do anything. There is this thing in the Bible, which I've shared a couple times here. Paul used to cast out demons from people who were possessed of evil spirits. And some 3 guys observed Paul, and they saw that the only thing he was saying and doing to cast out these evil spirits was calling on the name of Lord Jesus Christ, and then asking the evil spirit to get out of the body of this particular individual. And the evil spirit will exit from this particular individual. So these 3 guys, they imitated. They said we should not imitate. They did the same thing, and the evil spirit came out and says, Christ we know, Paul we know, what about you? And they beat the hell out of these 3 guys. You know? So they didn't have faith. They just saw what Paul was doing, and they also did it, and it did not yield the same results. When a child is learning how to walk, the parents help the child to learn how to walk. And after some time, the parents will leave the child alone to be walking by themselves. So like His Grace Srivas VANACARI was saying, when we first joined the devotional service, Krishna is helping us to learn how to walk. So we may not even have faith, but many miraculous things will happen in our lives. Then it gets to a point that Krishna will no more spoon feed us. We have to do everything as we are being taught. And that is why oftentimes when we take initiation, we start having more challenges. And I was there when Hamsadvita Prabhu, you received initiation from your Gurudev, and your Gurudev mentioned that to you. I was there, I remember. Yes. So, because once you take initiation, it means that you've been spoon-fed, you've been catered for so long. At this point, okay, now you're on your own. So if we do not do it on our own, then there will be no much results. Then Srivas Prabhu talking about placebo. Of course, Srivas VANACARI himself was a medical student. We know the medicine will work whether we believe in it or not. But if you believe in the medicine, the effect is almost instant. That is why we do this placebo thing Srivas Prabhu was saying. The placebo will not nullify things per se, but it speeds up. Because if someone has pain and you give him pain medicine and you tell him, this is the argument I leveled against this devotee who spoke in Gitanagari. I said, thank God I do this all the time. When someone is sick and you give him his pain medicine, if you do not tell this person that this is your pain medicine, you may give the medicine 1-2 hours time, the person is calling you for pain medicine. But if you tell the person that this is your pain medicine, the effect is almost instant and very effective, because most of our problems begin from the mind. So when the mind accepts that, and that is what Srivas Prabhu was saying, the doctor giving you the medicine, you have trust in the doctor. And when the doctor also tells you that this medicine is to help you with your pain, is to take away the pain, the double faith in the medicine and in the doctor helps the medicine to take effect. So faith is very, very important. Everything the acharyas have said are true. Otherwise, they wouldn't have said it. So I'm sorry I've talked so long, but when Govinda Prabhu was asking the question, even before His Grace answered, I was thinking about all these things that, well, we have this placebo. And that placebo helps us understand the importance of faith. Because when you tell the person, because the placebo oftentimes has nothing in it, it has no medicine. But we tell the person that this is for your pain. The person takes it and the pain goes away. So this mind is something else. Scientists have been able to study the mind to understand that there is a particular spot. That is where the pain sensation begins. And so actually when we take any pain medicine, all the pain medicine does is that the pain medicine goes to that particular spot of the mind where it senses pain and then it locks the gate. So that transmission doesn't get through. Well, our end here, because I had other questions, but we'll see if there will still be time. It's almost 2 hours since we've been here. Srivas VANACARI, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to also become Srila Vyasadeva in your lecture. Hare Krishna.
You're sharing. It's sharing. So thank you for sharing.
No, but you have to say something though. I'm not compelling you, but at least you have to say something about all what these different devotees have shared, including
yes. Sharing is very important, and sharing is important because what we have experienced or what we have gone through, others may not have gone through that, and so when we share our experience, we bring people along. We bring people to also experience what we have experienced. By sharing our experience, we are also allowing people to experience what we have experienced. Yeah. The whole process of Krishna consciousness is based on sharing. We hear about the holy name, we hear about the spiritual world, we hear about so many things that we cannot immediately experience. But by sharing in the experiences of advanced devotees, we also gradually approach that goal. So therefore, hearing is very important. Actually, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Chaitanya Charitamritam ye janasune, tanra chara duna karo mohipane. That if one hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu constantly, one will make advancement. If one becomes acquainted with the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just by that hearing, just by coming to know how Mahaprabhu conducted devotional service with his devotees, just by that hearing, our faith will be enhanced and we shall make tangible progress in that Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he says, Sriyatam, Sriyatam Nityam, Giyate, Giyate Mudha, Chintyantam, Chintyantam Bhakta, Chaitanya Charitamrita. His advice is, oh my dear devotees, may the transcendental life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always be heard, chanted, and meditated upon with great happiness. And then he says that anybody who hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will wash his lotus feet and I will drink that water. That is, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying this. Now, he said, a devotee, we should hear the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya constantly. And any devotee who hears Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he is prepared to wash the lotus feet of such devotees, and he will drink the water that comes from the feet of those devotees. So in other words, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is offering us the opportunity to hear more and more and more about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. And the more we hear about these activities, the more our faith will increase, and the more we can make advancement, and the more we can experience Krishna. So sharing is very important. And opportunities like this gives us opportunity to share. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for participating. On this note, we will say thank you and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. If I may just say one thing, or maybe ask, Prabhuji, do you remember there was one Indian, I've forgotten the name of the place. Kokomlemle? Yeah, there was one devotee. Well, I said devotee, but it was an Indian body industrialist.
Okay.
He was quite favorable to devotees. He was my friend. He was called Dilip.
Dilip, I know him.
You know him? Is he still around?
Yes, he's an old man now, but he's around.
Oh, well, my regards to him if you ever see him.
Yes, I meet him once in a while. Yes.
Okay, good. So I went to see him one time in his house. He had his industry in his house also. So I was telling him, hey, Dilip, do you know who you are? Because you are the reason we have Ganga. And he had no clue. I said, your son called Bhagirat was the one who brought down Ganga. Yes. And he was impressed. But I just wanted to find out from you if the water coming from Lord Varaha, the water we have on this earth as Ganga are all coming from the Gulf Ocean. And they were touched by different incarnations of the Lord. One is Varaha, one is Vamana. How does Ganga become so much the predominating personality of the Ganga River? And if it is from the Gulf Ocean, which is already purified, and like you beautifully said, when Ganga was coming down on earth, she was very much disturbed. She said, this is, you quoted Canto 9, I think 996.
Yeah.
Yeah, 996 and 7. It talks about Mother Ganga asking Bhagirat, you're asking me to come down here, but you know, these sinful people are going to bathe in my water and I'm going to be contaminated. So my question is, how does any sin, anybody, be able to contaminate what is coming from the Supreme Lord?
Well,
how can the cloud contaminate the sun? How can the feces contaminate the sun? How does Mother Ganga feel that she is going to be overloaded by sin from all these sinful people bathing in the water called Ganga, which is actually coming from the Supreme Lord, Garbo?
yes, it's interesting that the Ganga is coming from actually the coastal ocean, is water from coastal ocean, because when Vamanadev, his toe pierced the universal covering, there was a crack, and the water from the coastal ocean then entered our universe. And that water from the coastal ocean is actually coming from Mahavishnu. It's Mahavishnu's. He created that ocean and lay on it and caused the creation to take place. So it's a spiritual water. And then because the water washed the feet of Vamanadev, it has become doubly charged because coming from Mahavishnu, and now it washes the feet of the Lord himself. Now, so how is it possible that such a doubly charged spiritual artifact can become contaminated, can become polluted? But Ganga, she felt like that so long as I am flowing through the universe, going through different planets, people will definitely come to take shelter. And once they take shelter, he has to share in their reactions. You see, the interaction, there is interaction between the spiritual master and the disciple, between the residents of the well and Ganga Devi, who is coming down from the spiritual master. I mean, who's coming down from the spiritual well, coming down from the spiritual well. So it's like that once accept a disciple, he has to share in the reactions of the activities of the disciple. Similarly, when anybody takes bath in the Ganga, it's a spiritual transfer that whatever sins he has committed, whatever contamination he has, just by taking bath in that water, Ganga takes it. Ganga takes it. And because she takes it, it is going to accumulate. People are coming to bath, he is taking. People are coming to bath, he is taking. Therefore, it will accumulate. And so he was afraid that if I descended on the earthly planet, there are a lot of sinful people who will come and take their bath, and I'll be compelled to accept their sinful reactions, and this will increase my contamination. But Bhajirat told him, don't worry, there are pure devotees, there are exalted devotees who are carrying the Lord in their hearts, and so when they come to bath in those waters that are contaminated, they have the potency to absorb the contamination. So it's because Ganga her duty is to purify the living entity. So therefore, when the living entities come to bath, how does it purify them? He has to take some of their reactions. And so by taking and taking and taking, then it's also piling up. So that was a fear. Yeah. And Bhajirat told him, don't worry, there are exalted devotees who are so empowered that when they come to bath, they will neutralize whatever reactions you've accumulated in your service to humanity. So it's a service to humanity that Ganga is afraid of, that he wants to serve. But in the attempt to serve, he's going to pile up a lot of reactions. But then Bhajirat said, don't worry, there are exalted devotees who are capable of neutralizing those effects. So it's not that the water coming from the spiritual well can be contaminated. It's just that Ganga, her duty is to deliver the living entities, to purify the living entities, and she must accept the reaction, the karma, the contaminations. Otherwise, how does he purify them? And so by accepting and accepting, they pile up. But once a pure devotee baths in the river, that devotee has the ability to neutralize all the accumulated reactions.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the time. And again, we apologize for the initial technical glitch we had. Somehow, by Sri Guru Krishna's grace, we were able to be here. And the problem with Prabhuji, I'm humble to say that the problem with your lectures is that you make it difficult for us to end the lecture because when you're tasting something sweet, time doesn't fly at all. No. So I'm sorry, time flies. So we've been here, but we've been here long, I would say 2 hours, but it's still like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We wish we could go for more, but as we know, everybody has something else to do. So I believe we may bring this to a final close and say we honestly, truly thank you so much for this depth of information, not just information, but information is backed with love, which is the most important thing, which helps solidify our faith in the process of devotional service. So if you may make maybe a very short, brief concluding remark, and then we're going to be asking the devotees to unmute. So probably if you have concluding remark.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to discuss this topic of Varahadev, the incarnation, Hawk incarnation of the Lord, who appeared to deliver the earth from the Garbha ocean out of his costless mercy for the living entities. That has always been the mood of the Lord, to come into the material world, to create facilities, to deliver the living entity, and to give everyone a chance to hear about him, glorify him. And by such activity, the living entity is given a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. So Varahadev's appearance is just to give us this opportunity to discuss his glorious pastimes, to hear his glorious pastimes. And by doing so, we become eligible to return to the spiritual world. So we should hear more about the story of Varahaji, and all the stories in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are very, very relevant. Shukadeva Goswami is narrating these stories for the benefit of all of us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of the discussion, and we look forward to participating in more of such wonderful discussions. Actually, what is his name? Lord Chaitanya, as I was quoting the other day, is thanking Ramananda Raya. He says, Ramananda Raya Raja Tanara Koti Namaskar. That, my dear Ramananda Raya, 1,000,000 thanks to you, because from your mouth I've heard the glories of Krishna. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to hear more about Krishna, to hear the glories of Krishna. This is the platform that offers such an opportunity. And so we are very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much. And Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all with one love, one heart, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our deepest appreciation and gratitude to our revered speaker, His Grace, SRIVAS VANACARI, for sharing his love and wisdom with us all. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhya evacha Kitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to His Grace Srivas VANACARI Ki Jai. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So, devotees, we thank you all so much. And we hope to see you all again next week. Hare Krishna.